In today's session, we're chatting to Susheila Moodley, the CEO of Future Banker, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about her company story, how you build credibility and get people to believe in you as a leader. She's going to tell us a little bit of how she structures the sales function in her business, how she achieves flawless execution. So welcome, Susheila. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Paul. Good to be with you.
Cool. So you want to just kick off with a little bit around what Future Banker does and your vision and mission for the company?
Absolutely. So Future Banker is exactly that. It creates bankers of the future. And I've been involved in the phase compliance sector since 2003 and been very intimately involved in understanding what the requirements are for South Africa's financial services sector and ensuring professionalism and the building of professionalism in the sector. And so what I identified was a problem. And the problem was, how do people who are currently employed in the financial services sector meet the phase fit and proper determinations? And alternatively, people coming into the sector, how do they make sure that they meet these minimum requirements? And so Future Banker became a solution to that, being able to offer high quality, affordable, accessible education across various levels within the South African education system, but which meets the very specific requirements of phase fit and proper. And that's our story. So we've been working in the sector. I've been working in the sector since 2003. We've actively been Future Bankers since 2009. So the business is now 12 years old. And it's been wonderful to see that we have established a great footprint. We've probably trained in the region of about 5,000 to 6,000 people over the past 12 years. And I think what's been hugely valuable for me, and I think is where the impact is most significant for me, is that we've really impacted jobs in this country. So we've helped people to maintain their jobs. We've helped people to find decent work, so be able to embark on qualifications that result in work. And I think that for me has been the most valuable impact of this business in the world that it currently operates.
Awesome, Susheila. So you've managed to build a decent organization and had a successful entrepreneurial career. One of the problems many founders have in the early stage is building credibility and really getting people to believe in their idea and their team. How do you think about it, or how have you gone about doing that?
You know, I think as a founder, a lot of it rests with you. So credibility is, do I do what I say I'm going to do? Can people believe me? Or do I tell you one thing and go and do something completely different? And I'm just that sort of person who, I do what I say I'm going to do. It's just who I am. And I've found that that has been the most valuable trait for me as a founder and as a leader. My team believes me. When I say that I'm going to meet the target this year of 20 million Rand, I meet that target. And I hold myself to account in exactly the same way that they do. So when we have management meetings and people say to me, how much sales have you done? I can say, well, this is what I've done and this is why I am where I am. So even in this COVID period, we've continued to aggressively drive sales. And again, from a business development point of view, Paul, if you don't mind, business development is a difficult thing to do. I think if you can sell, my goodness, you literally can write your own. And that's why I left the corporate world, was that no matter how hard I worked, it just never equated to what came out into my bank account at the end of that period. And I thought, like, why am I working so hard when I'm not having any impact? Well, I thought that working for myself would be easy to do. It's the hardest I've ever worked in my life. But the difference is that I do get out what I put in. So from a business development point of view, I have decided as the owner of this business that I will take responsibility for that, because I understand this business and I understand what it is that we're trying to achieve. And for us, it's not just about a business, it's about impacting people's lives. And I understand how we can have that impact, and I can understand how we've done that over the period of time. And so business development is almost exclusively my responsibility. I own it completely. I have tried to employ people to do it, but you know, I'm one of those founders that I am just so driven by what I do that sometimes it's difficult for me to necessarily hand it over to somebody because it's not always done the way that I want it done. And so I've owned that, and maybe that's a weakness from my side, and I get that, and I own it, and I accept that. But I drive business. So every single day of my life, that is what I start with, is to understand where are the business opportunities, how do I drive them, how do I exploit them. And one of the big things for me from a business development point of view has been not so much hunting, but farming. So being able to establish yourself as such a trusted advisor to your customers, that your customers come to you first, that in fact they come to you and say, we're thinking of using that company who's in fact a competitor, what do you think? And they know that I will be honest in my answer. They know that it's not about the fact that I may not get that word. It's about the fact that they trust me. And as a trusted advisor, if you can get yourself to that place in your relationship with your customer where they see you as a trusted advisor, you never have to sell again. You never have to sell. And you never have to be threatened by your competitors. You know, the other interesting thing that I think we've done as a business very, very well is that we've been focused on a particular niched market. And often people, networks, other customers, current customers will come and say, you do that really well. Can't you do this too? And it's very easy as an owner of a business to go, oh yes, let me grab that piece because you know what, it will increase, it will help me to achieve my sales target. And you've got to be quite disciplined about saying, but that's not what I am good at. I don't know how to do that. And it's going to take me too long to figure out how to do that. And it's going to distract me from where it is that I'm focused and what I know to do really well. And so I've had to teach myself to say no and say, Mr. Customer, I'm really flattered that you want me to do this, but this is not what I do. What I can do is help you to find somebody who's good at it and enable you to still achieve whatever your strategic objective is. But I'm not that person because this is not the focus of my business. My business is phase, fit, and proper compliance. That's what I do, and I do it really well.
So Sheila, anything you would add around how a founder could systematically build a relationship to become a trusted advisor? Are there things that you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to really deepen and strengthen the relationship and get them to believe in you as a salesperson and as a business owner?
I strongly aligned to the trusted advisor is flawless execution. If you do your job really well, your customer will see that. And that job well done will translate itself into orders rather than sales. So your customer will literally wake up at the start of every financial year and say, listen, guys, we want you to do these number of projects. And that will only come through flawless execution. That will only come when your customer realizes, wow, these guys know what they're doing and they do a really good job. You deliver on time, you deliver what's required and then some more, and you're incredibly responsive. So responsiveness to your customers is also critical. You know, my customers don't always call me about projects that I'm working on for them. They'll call me about something else. And if you can be honest with your customer, even if it's going to do you out of the job, what you send a message to your customer is that this is about you, Mr. Customer. I am here to partner with you. I am here to help you to deliver better to your customers. This is not about my bottom line. I do a tremendous amount of free work, Paul, and that's the truth. Many of my competitors, many of my network, many people that I interact with on a business, in a business environment on a daily basis often say, Susheila, you're ridiculous. Why are you spending, why are you doing all of this work for nothing? But it's about a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that the customer sees that my agenda is your success, Mr. Customer. So if right now I have to do some free work for you, an analysis that you need to be able to make a decision about something, you know what? I'm learning in that process anyway. But it is also a matter of integrity. Not everything is about money for me. And I say that very, very succinctly. It's not always about money. Sometimes it is about relationships. Sometimes it's about the bigger picture. Sometimes it's about seeing that, you know what, in 5 years' time, I still want this customer. And I have a number of customers like that, where for the past 5 or 6 years, we've been doing the same project repeatedly because we're just that good at it, because we've been doing this particular project repeatedly year after year, and year after year, we've just become better at it in the way that we've executed. So we've been able to save them money. We've been able to, for example, now move everything online without necessarily charging them anything additional. And I think all of those sorts of behaviors send a message to your customer that says, this is not just about the money. This is also about helping us to be successful at what we do. And I think that that has been so valuable for me as an entrepreneur in terms of establishing that trusted advisor kind of relationship with my customers, to the extent that I can say at the start of a financial year, almost with certainty, that I can expect X amount of revenue out of this customer and X amount of revenue out of that.
Awesome, Susheila. Do you want to just give us a little bit more about the types of courses that you would offer to the general public? And if someone would be interested in who's the sort of customer and how could they potentially get hold of you if they felt that it was a good fit for them?
Cool. So obviously the website is www.futurebanker.co.za, because that's what we do. We create bankers of the future. But obviously we're not only focused on banking, we're focused in financial services more broadly. And typically our customers are two large sectors. The one are currently employed. So in other words, there are people already employed in financial services and wanting to either meet their compliance requirements, so they need to study towards a qualification that will deem them compliant, or they want to see some kind of career growth, or they want to look at specialization. So for example, they want to move to the higher NQF levels. Entry level at the moment is NQF level 5, generally within financial services, and they want to move to 6, 7, 8 and beyond. Or alternatively, they want to look at specialist skills. So for example, they want some more in-depth knowledge on cybersecurity, or they want to understand how artificial intelligence is being used in the financial services sector. Or they want an entry-level program into big data and how to program with big data and how big data is being used within financial services. So that's the one.
Awesome, Susheila.
Your other market are entry-level employees, so people who want to get into the banking and financial services sector and understand that a matric is no longer sufficient, so you need a financial services type of qualification. That is the other group that we would want to talk to.
Awesome, Susheila. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Lovely seeing you again. Take good care.
Cheers.
Bye.